Hey guys, so I want to touch on a subject today that I want to talk about. It's something sad. Well, when it comes to the Titanic, all the videos are really sad, but this is the latest information in regards to the RMS Titanic. You may or may not have heard the news referencing something called the Titan. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Titan. I want to explain to you what it is, explain to you the differences between the submersibles, such as like what Robert Ballard used to originally find a Titanic, or like what RMS Titanic uses now, and as opposed to the Titan. I want to go through and I want to explain to you what it is and how it works, and then I want to share with you my thoughts on the whole situation.
The Titan is a submersible craft designed to dive to great depths. The Everett-based company OCEANGATE created the craft so that it could withstand great pressure while being at the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. At the time it was built, the Titan was OCEANGATE's most advanced submersible to date. Director of Engineering Tony Misson describes the creation of the Titan with one purpose in mind. That purpose was to be able to get to and document the wreck of the RMS Titanic. The Titanic herself sank on her maiden voyage on April 15th of 1912. She sat at the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean, unseen until Dr. Robert Ballard and his team discovered her back in 1985. Since Titanic's discovery, it had been documented that the ship is rapidly deteriorating. A combination of the ocean water and the iron-eating bacteria have taken their toll on the mighty vessel. Some of the most notable signs of damage are the roof area over the captain's quarters. The entire roof has now collapsed onto the captain's quarters. Also, the forward mast that had been bent back over the wheelhouse is now deteriorated to the point where it is no longer attached to the deck and has actually fallen into the forward cargo hatch area. Since their involvement began, OCEANGATE has provided stunningly beautiful photographs and video of the RMS Titanic. The Titan can reach depths of up to 4,000 meters or 13,123 feet down. One of the biggest differences from the Titan in relations to the submersible used by Dr. Ballard, or RMS Titanic Incorporated, is the fact that the sub's hull is actually made of carbon fiber and not steel. Also, the Titan has a larger capacity for passengers. Instead of room for 2 people, the Titan can accommodate up to 5 people. One of the most notable physical attributes of the Titan also is the fact that the craft is sealed before diving, and it's from the outside. 17 bolts are secured at the end cap, sealing the compartment, and the only way to open it back up again is from the outside. Strength, weight, and buoyancy were the main factors when a decision was made to use carbon fiber to construct the craft. This vessel will be under extreme pressure while at the bottom of the Atlantic. In fact, as much as 150 million pounds of pressure will be pressing against its hull. The Titanic lies 3,800 meters beneath the surface of the North Atlantic, and the Titan is the only 5-person sub capable of diving on Titanic. The craft is built so that the passengers aboard will not feel the immense pressure coming from outside its walls. For maneuverability, its pilot will use a game-like controller to work the maneuvering thrusters on the outside of the vessel. A touch screen is also used for other functions, including lighting, communication, and other operations. The interior features a screen in which can see the surrounding areas on, and there are no physical seats or chairs in the vessel. Rather, you must sit down, cross your legs, and lean up against the walls. A combination of laser scanners as well as high-definition cameras will send video to the screen. The video and photographs from OCEANGATE have provided some of the most accurate and informative understandings of the debris field to date. The monitoring of the decay of the Titanic has also provided valuable information on the progression of the decay of shipwrecks on the ocean floor. OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush, in reference to the Titan, suggested that it can also be used to protect divers from dangerous or hazardous chemicals, such as World War II vessels that had sunk. Mr. Rush also stated that the Titan's mission was to document the deterioration of Titanic on a yearly basis, as well as allowing civilians to visit the wreck site. The Titan is a craft-like tube in appearance, and the end section has a tail section that points and curves upwards. There is a small window on a nose cone allowing a restricted view of the surrounding area. The Titan is 22 feet long, 9 feet 2 inches wide, and the vessel stands 8 feet 3 inches high. The Titan weighs 23,000 pounds and is capable of carrying up to 1,510 pounds of cargo. The vessel holds oxygen supplies for a total of 96 hours, and the craft also has a real-time hull health monitoring system, or RTM. This system makes analysis of the hull integrity as well as the pressures pressing against it available to the operator. The Titan submersible officially went missing on June 18, 2023. The craft was being piloted by OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush. With him were Shahzada Daewoo and his son Suleiman Daewoo, also Amash Harding and Paul Henry Nagelet. Approximately 900 miles off the coast of Cape Cod, the search quickly ensued. Searching from the air as well as beneath the surface of the water. The search would intensify, knowing the oxygen levels of the passengers was limited. The U.S. and the Canadian Coast Guards, as well as the deep-sea exploration vessels from around the world, would aid in the search. It would be the deep-sea exploration vessel Verizon Arctic that would ultimately discover a debris field on the floor of the Atlantic near Titanic. In fact, it would be approximately 1,600 feet away from the bow section of the RMS Titanic. The debris field would match the materials that would have been found from the Titan submersible. In official releases from the U.S. Coast Guard, the fate of the Titan had been a malfunction leading to an implosion of the vessel.
Now, when the news first broke that there was a problem, a lot of my family members and friends had reached out to me, and they had wanted to know. Well, I had always said it. If I had the money and I get a chance to go to Titanic, sign me up. I'm there, and I would relish the opportunity to go. But at $250,000 to reserve a seat, not very likely. But in hence of the situation, a lot of my family members asked me, and a lot of my friends asked me if I had changed my mind, and much to their surprise, no, my stance hasn't changed. If I'm able to go to RMS Titanic, I'm going. And I understand the risks. I can only imagine the stacks of paperwork that you'd have to sign, for liability reasons and all kind of things like that before you even get foot into the submarine. But any opportunity to go to RMS Titanic, and again, this is my opinion. My opinion may be a lot different than yours, but for me personally, any chance to actually see Titanic would be, that alone would counterbalance all of the risks involved. And I understand there might be people now that say, oh boy, in light of the situation, I'll never go on there. But, everybody has their opinion. Matter of fact, I was watching a video, and Josh Gates is a host of a show called Expedition Unknown. That show is great, you gotta check it out. And he was saying that a couple years ago, him and his team were talking about doing a special on Titanic. This is when the Titan was in its infancy and it was still kind of working out the bugs. Well, he had gone down in it. And I guess he wasn't all that comfortable with the regulations and some of the things when it came to the sub itself. So him and his crew had backed out. And I guess he figured maybe, you know, just a little more testing and what have you. But if you haven't heard, they did find the submersible, the Titan. They found the tail cone amongst the wreckage of RMS Titanic, and that was 1,600 feet from the bow. That's where they found the wreckage. What happened was there was a leak, and as soon as there's a leak, there was nothing to regulate the pressure, and the pressure of the water just crushed the submersible. It's crushing pressure down there, and that would be the best case scenario because it happened so quickly. I'm sure before they even knew what was going on, it was already done. As opposed to the oxygen running out slowly. And even if, because there's a safety feature on the sub where the weights drop and it surfaces, but the problem with that is it doesn't have the ping for the satellite to mark its location, which is pretty surprising. And another, I don't know if it's a flaw, but another design issue was that when you get into the tube, it's bolted on, the end is bolted on, and there's no way to get out from the inside. You have to have it unbolted from the outside, so even if you did surface, you would asphyxiate, lack of oxygen. So the implosion, in my opinion, would be the best alternative because it would be the quickest. And like I said, this is just my opinion. I know the risks involved, but for me personally, you can't pick and choose where you die. But if my eternal resting place could be on the side of RMS Titanic, I'm okay with that. Again, that's just my opinion. Not that I'll ever have the money, but I would go in a heartbeat. But again, just to let you guys know what happened, the sub, they found the evidence that it was destroyed, it was imploded. I had wanted to do a video to kind of explain to you guys what it was and the differences between that and the Alvin sub, or the submersibles used by Dr. Ballard. So my friends, I hope this shed a little bit of light on the situation, and I thank you for watching, and until my next Titanic related video, I'll talk to you soon.